Hey, more rides, new life, new gigs, new this, new that. My home, my place, bigger names, bigger money, smaller honey shit. Good girl, man, but she act bad for me. Yeah, checks in to get it.
Hey, what's up? We're back. Last segment, LockEmUp Hoops podcast. We spent 2 segments talking about LeBron James as far as the Cavaliers, where they stand, and LeBron individually as far as Mount Rushmore. Is he there, or maybe in the tier 2 status of legendary players? Now let's get to Steph Curry, arguably the best player in the world, at least in my eyes, the best player in the world. A lot of comparisons as far as Steph Curry and LeBron James. Let me start this one off. So we talked about LeBron James as far as him, the attention that he wants and everything like that. I do defend him as far as the Eastern Conference just being a complete dumpster fire, and I'm not going to blame the Cavaliers for being the only team that knows what the hell they're doing. They have as many chances, all these other Eastern Conference teams in the draft, to make something happen. You pass on Draymond Green, Steph Curry, that's a you problem if you're in the East. But talking about Steph Curry now, and everyone, and we talked about Brian Windhorst at the end of that last segment too, talking about, no matter how many, wins or all the hype and all this stuff applies to LeBron James, that's why he's number 3 all time. Get out of here with that stuff. Respectfully disagree with Brian Windhorst. But just like we say that about LeBron James, it is absolutely amazing how he also indicated that, hey man, LeBron's not used to not being the top dog. Steph Curry now being the most popular player in the league may be bothering him. Well, hell, is it bothering the fans too? Are you guys really just as disappointed too? The fact that LeBron James isn't the best player in the world anymore, that now, we're going to go after Steph Curry. It's absolutely amazing. At least with LeBron James, everyone that comes after LeBron, and by this time, I'm over attacking this dude and everything like that. I just call it like I see it. Back when he joined Miami, I was definitely heated at that. But outside of that, LeBron, he's got a tattoo on his back saying the chosen one. I'm, wearing 23, doing all this stuff, starring in Space Jam 2. So obviously the comparisons and the questions and the criticism against Jordan are going to come there. But Steph Curry has never done any of that. Steph Curry, if you had never know what his name is, you would just look at him and say, wow, he plays basketball really well, and guess what? He goes home. That's all he does. He doesn't do any of this hype. Let me break down his timeline of all this unfiltered hate that just comes towards Steph Curry for no apparent reason. This started last year when they won the NBA championship last year. Doc Rivers talked to Zach Lowe of Grantland.com and said, hey, and I quote, "You need luck in the West. Look at Golden State. They didn't have to play us or the Spurs. Are you kidding me?" So they were lucky because they didn't have to play the Clippers or the Spurs last year. Actually, Klay Thompson responded to that saying, quote, "That sounds pretty bitter to me. If we got lucky, look at our record against them last year. I'm pretty sure we smacked them." You know what I mean? So Klay Thompson even spoke out and said, hey, we would have played the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, but they didn't handle their business. So I don't understand. And he also said, quote, "Didn't they lose to the Rockets? So that just makes me laugh. That's funny. Weren't they up 3-1-2? Tell him I said that too." And then we go to Charles Barkley, who spoke with Dime Magazine, had an interview with them saying Steph Curry, and I quote, "He's not more than a shooter. He's just a great shooter." Well, excuse me, I beg your pardon.
Nobody listens to Charles, man.
I know, but that's what the word around the league is now, and a lot of people are saying that, he's nothing but a jump shooter. Excuse me, J.J. Redick is a great shooter. Kyle Korver is a great shooter. I think it's safe to say.
Great scorer.
I think it's safe to say Steph Curry is more than just a great shooter. His impact on the game is second to none. This year, Curry won his back-to-back MVP, first unanimous. We talked about Tracy McGrady saying, it's a watered-down league and everything like that, but we talked about how it's always been a top-heavy league. So what does that say? Steph Curry has never said anything to anyone. All this hate that's been coming at him has been unprovoked, which means what? The fact that you people, whoever is out there, whether you're upset that LeBron James isn't the most popular player in the league or whatever, the fact that you guys, whoever is out there just outwardly hating this dude for no reason is absolutely hilarious. So I've got nothing to say about it. Just keep playing. Steph Curry, keep doing your thing. And the hell with all these asparagus-flavored drinking haterade users. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
I got you real quick. Now, to get back off your Doc Rivers quote, I kind of feel him just a little bit because, listen. Because the year before last, before they won a championship, the Clippers and Warriors were in a first-round battle, and they lost to the Clippers in Game 7. Now, he has totally all he should feel that way because they beat them the year before, so I get it. But the next year was a different year, though. So let's get that straight. So that was
a little better.
That was a little bit different because Clay got better, Steph got completely better. He was MVP, and Draymond got better. So the team, the dynamic, the dynamic changed. But I completely agree with Doc because if you beat the team the year before, I mean, you have to feel that way. You beat them before, so you know what I mean.
But you lose a 3-1 lead too.
Quick point, quick point, real quick. Quick point, real quick, before you two go again. That's exactly what I'm going to bring up because you had your opportunity if you're Doc Rivers to go against those Warriors. You were up 3-1. 3-1, and you were in LA.
In the Western Conference Finals
in
on top of
LA.
That.
Was it in LA? What was it, game? Was it game 5 or game 6? I think it was game 6.
They were up 20.
They were up
like
20. James Harden
game
was
6.
on the bench, and Josh Smith is what extended it out to game 7. So don't talk about, they were lucky they didn't face it. You should have faced the Warriors, but guess what? Is that their fault that you couldn't get past the Rockets while James Harden was on the bench?
You should have.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah, but that was my only thing. But for me, Steph he didn't come out of nowhere. We knew what he was at Davidson, but when he first
used
came
to watch him in college. Yep,
exactly. We knew what he was in college, but we didn't think he would be this.
Yeah.
We thought he was
going to
be
a
great shooter, like literally just a great shooter. Not because his handle was never like this. He was a more catch and shoot,
run off the screen,
like a step back. Exactly, he was more of that. So, and then when he ccame into the league, he did come in the league averaging 17 points a game. So he came in not a bum. He came in as a pretty good player. He was always over a 40% 3-point shooter. So he was definitely always a good shooter. But for me, Steph came on the scene in 2012 when he had a 52-pointer against the Knicks. When he just went crazy
at the Mecca.
Exactly, he went crazy, and I remember seeing the highlights like this guy. I'm like, what? Steph is he blew up. That's the game for me because that's the year that they went to the playoffs. They were the 6th seed. They upsetted the 3 seed, the Nuggets, that year. And that team had Iguodala, and Danilo Gallinari, and I think that team was overachieved anyway. But they still beat him as a 6th seed. And ultimately, that offseason, Andre Iguodala seen exactly what happened, what they did to him, and he joined that fourth slash, and then he joined the fourth next year. So I think just that alone, put him on the map. But Steph Curry, he came out of nowhere. Like, this is supposed to be a Kevin Durant. What he's doing right now, this is supposed to be Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a Kevin Durant lead.
This is supposed to be him. He surpassed all of these guys in just about 2 years, and you can't hate on the guy for that. It really is. It's crazy. Like, it's all hate. Everybody says it's not hate. I'm just not hate. It's hate.
It's hate. That's literally
Kevin
what it
Durant
is.
Supposed
not
to
appreciating the greatness that we're watching right now. We were so used to watching one man dominate for a whole decade.
And I don't care how much help Steph Curry does. He's the focal point of that team. I don't care if he has Clay, Draymond, Iguodala.
Yeah.
I can go down the list. Yeah, his team's definitely deep, but without him, they're not the same team at all. This team would have probably lost. Definitely would have went to a game 7 with Portland, the way Portland was playing last series, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't.
They might have lost to the Rockets.
I wouldn't say that.
If everything was on, page, if everything was on right.
Draymond's top 10, bro. He ain't losing to that team. And
that is true.
Klay Thompson wasn't losing to that. And you still got Iguodala there. Iguodala's still there, and he's a good player. He's always been a good player. Finals MVP. But yeah, for me, it all started in 2012, and he got, like you said, 2 back-to-back MVPs. I'm so upset he didn't get that Finals MVP because I think that would have just solidified it a little bit more. But the real fans know he should have been a Finals MVP. He's broken his own 3-point record 3 times already. That's crazy to me. The fact that you have 400 threes, and like we mentioned in the last podcast, realistic Randy, he might have had more if he wasn't in the bench in the fourth quarter. So it just keeps getting better and better. He's only going to get better, and I keep hearing Steph Curry's so relatable because he doesn't jump out the gym. He's like, everybody wants to be a great shooter like he was, and he's actually doing this from half court like it's a regular shot for him. So he's transcending the game. I'm pretty sure there's kids that are in 8th grade, 7th grade right now just practicing their jump shots. So we will see, how Kobe was another Jordan. We will see another guy like Steph soon, maybe, but not as great. But you know what I mean, kind of like a Kobe. Yeah. So I kind of see that happening here. I'm glad the league is changing. There's the small balls changing because of him, kind of. spreading the floor, the whole offense.
Everybody wants to play a whole different system.
Exactly. The system is different. So Steph is transcending the game in a good way.
That would also be a contribution of Draymond too.
Exactly.
He's Randy.
The most versatile player in the NBA. But that's my take on Steph. He's going to only get better, and I'm calling it again, 4-peat.
Fundamentals is now the premium in the league. It's no more, athleticism or you got to be 6'10". Fundamentals is what's premium in the league right now, and if you can do that at a high level, you got a chance. BoldBarry, what you got?
So Steph, I mean, these past 2 years, because everybody wants to bring up these whole career stats between LeBron and Steph, and they just haven't been in the league at the same amount of time. They make this comparison, so I just ignore those. But we can talk about the last 2 or 3 years, between these two players. And Steph has been up and coming, I think averaging 22 2 years ago, from 23 last year to 30 this year. And with these 2 years winning MVPs and possibly a championship and breaking the Bulls record, and breaking his own three-point records. And we're just going to keep talking about breaking records. So, if you're going to disregard somebody not being great and being dominant in the game and not seeing what this guy's doing as opposed to what LeBron James hasn't been doing, which has been a lot of underachieving, in my opinion, then it's just ridiculous. You're not a basketball fan. A lot of LeBron fans are really blinded towards what Steph Curry actually does. Steph Curry, like you guys said, he shoots from half court pretty much and will end the game on you from half court. He's literally changing the way the defenses are focusing on you on your offense. He's changing the game. For me, I feel also, LeBron hasn't really changed the game from anything we haven't really seen besides the fact of his individuality of being all right, this man's 6'8", 275 pounds and just
Gotta disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too.
And something I've seen before versus wait, just hear me out though. Just hear me out a little bit. Versus what Steph has done. What Steph has done, where it's this guy is shooting. He's got a teardrop. He's got an arsenal that we've never seen really before. That's really unstoppable. As far as LeBron, yes, he can get to the rack, but I can definitely say the other players that I get now is definitely doing literally the same thing this guy was probably doing. But obviously, it's just that this is LeBron James, third best of all time. That it's just it's on a different magnitude. Yeah. But it's just something that, for example, Kobe and Jordan, they changed the game in their own way because they were killers. These are straight killers that we're comparing this game to.
It's a different level.
Steph is a killer. LeBron just hasn't really been. LeBron hasn't really been that I'm changing the game and having a killer instinct. He just does everything that we always compare him to, the Magics, the Birds or the Jordans. I mean, whoever we want to compare him to, because he's all these players wrapped in one. But that we already discussed about that. Yeah. But with Steph, it's the guy's just great. The guy's doing too much for the league right now, where you're literally just watching something unfold every year. What team has gone 73-9? I mean, we've seen 72-10. We get that, but that's something that LeBron hasn't even done that. The most he's really ever won was 66 games in his career, on a team. Because this is also a team game, but when you're such a great player, you're supposed to be doing these things like this. So it's Steph is just a special player. It's, he's doing this as also a point guard. And, this league, I think, is also very point guard heavy. So for that, he's changing the point guard's game as long as, with the Russell Westbrooks as well, too. But we can also argue that Derrick Rose was an up-and-coming Russell Westbrook before he got hurt. But Steph is just a whole different breed. He shoots. He shoots, and that's all. You can say he's just a shooter, but I also brought this up the other day that I see that he's more of these three great players. He's wrapped up with a Jordan with his killer instinct, the way he scores the ball. He's wrapped up with Allen Iverson as far as his, his size and quickness and handle. And then the way, if you watch how he moves off the ball, because he's not just a catch and shoot guy or coming off the dribble. He runs off the curl kind of as similar to Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. Yep. And he's like these guys. So these are all great players wrapped into one small little man, and we're all just disrespecting what he's doing. So
question for you guys. All right. I know this is too early to prejudge, but if you had both of these guys are still in their primes, who would you take?
I'm taking Steph right now because Steph is 1-0 in the finals right now. I'm all about percentage and all about he's gotten there. We're seeing what he's doing. I'm taking Steph right now. LeBron is also.
So say if they were you knew what they were doing now, and you had so you would choose him number one overall if they were in the same draft. you would choose Steph over.
If we're in the same draft.
I'd take Steph.
Ooh.
I know.
I've watched Steph because Steph did it. Well, actually, I would take Steph because I feel like, for me, I'm a big guy where, like, I want guys to go. And this was a big point for me here, too. I actually want guys to do a year or two in college because your game is a lot more polished and you're a lot more mature. Like, LeBron took time to really mature and be great. Like, he was actually – no, he was great day one, but he took time to really mature. Like, we've seen him take his jersey off, run. He couldn't really get over the hump because he had to mature. That comes with maturity as well. But when you go to college, your game's a little bit more polished. You're a little bit ready for those on-pressure situations. That's why I think LeBron isn't able to handle pressure as well. So I definitely would have to take Steph. And I know the Knicks are kicking themselves.
Skip Bayless always said that 2009 draft that he would have chose him number one over Blake Griffin that year. So, I mean, because I was surprised that Steph went 7 and the way he dominated in that NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. The kid from Davidson.
I would I would also selfishly take Steph Curry for my own selfish reasons because Steph Curry and LeBron James, they're both great and they're both impactful players, but I'm going to take the guy that has the chip on their shoulders. If you guys remember, Steph Curry, he didn't even get recruited much out of high school. You know, by any of the major colleges. He lived in North Carolina, so North Carolina and Duke and whoever probably passed on him. He ended up in Davidson, and right now every time he accomplishes something, everyone just talks down on it. It's not a big deal. Oh, this just shows you how bad the rest of the league is. If you talk about players like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Randy Moss, you know, all these players that have been, you know, just dissed and dissed and dissed compared to those that come into the league saying, yep, I'm this and that, and, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it. I'll take the guy that's got the chip because he's probably going to be more focused than ever. I don't know what Russell Westbrook's chip on his shoulder is, but I don't know what his background is. But he's got to have some kind of chip, you know.
I want that chip.
I want that chip.
Yeah, I want that chip. That's tough. Because if LeBron had a jump shot, he would be the greatest player of all time for real.
Of all time. Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, he doesn't like, for me, that's another personal for me. Like, his game hasn't developed from the outside being a jump shooter. Like, he's been an in the post guy, and even that, like, his hook is a little suspect. You know, it's really like I'm barreling down the lane. As soon as you push LeBron out 3-point line extended, that's when you have a chance of winning the game. Yeah. You know, he's not a killer from out there. Yeah. You know, you force him to shoot, and that's how you win the game. You know, Steph, what are you going to do to stop the man? You can't. You got to guard him full length. Yep. You got to guard him all the way. Yep. You know, that's why you beat Steph Curry. 4 or 5 years are going to be really, really interesting because Steph, he's here.
It's possible. I see they're losing right now too by 13, but
you know, only like 2 threes to cut that lead in half.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever.
But he got a possible to. I know he won't be the all-time leading scorer, but that doesn't always matter. You know what I mean? Because Larry Bird's not even in the top 20 some. I think
right.
He's like.
But his career ended early for injuries as well.
Exactly. It was Magic. Still always have that chance to be in the Mount Rushmore no matter what. And if you keep winning chips, that's all that matters.
Because it's all about hardware. It's all about the fingerware.
And he has 2 MVPs already.
If he's got this. Come on. Exactly. And what we're going to say about this one, and I want to know what fans are really going to say that, you know, because I want to see the Steph Curry-LeBron matchup. I want to see what fans really have to say that when they see them again and they beat them in 4 or 5 or 6 games, what fans are really going to say then, what LeBron missed, you know, he didn't breathe right the right day or something like that, or he didn't chew his bubble gum on the right side of his mouth. Yeah. You know, it's like stuff like that. Like people really reach for this guy, LeBron James, and like, you know, just pushes Steph to the side. Like Steph really pushed LeBron to the side. You know, LeBron was like, I'm an only child, and like, you know, I'm not gonna be like second tier, like stuff like that. But like,
be careful,
man. Yeah. We'll leave it there. We'll follow up, you know, especially after these finals. Whoever ends up winning, you never know. Maybe Toronto will show up.
You never know.
You never know. Anything's possible, like KG said.
Anything's possible, like KG.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there. You can find us on iTunes. Just search LockEmUp Hoops. You can also send us a tweet at LockEmUp Hoops. We're on Facebook as well. Send us a tweet, comments, you know, anything you like to discuss for us to talk about on the show. Signing off, I'm Realistic Randy with Mastermind and BoldBarry.
Hey, more rides, new life, new gigs, new this, new that. My home, my place, bigger names, bigger money, smaller honeys, yeah. Good girl.